Hello, my name is Miss Bridges, and currently I am a fourth grade general education math teacher. And Classkick is a tool that I use often in my classroom that allows me to interact with and differentiate lessons for my students in the online environment. One of the main features of Classkick that has helped me as a teacher is the please check hand and chat features. These can be used for questions, to provide feedback, and for grading purposes. So here's an example of the student's view of a Classkick page or Classkick slide of work. So students can see here there's an image of a hand on the top right corner. If they click on this hand, it will open up a menu, a help center menu that gives them three different options: please help, please check, and chat with teacher. The please check one is the one that we use most frequently in my classes. I tell my students that anytime that they are done with a page or slide, or if they've reviewed a slide and need me to check back at their work, I ask them to check this please check hands. What this does is it will notify the teacher that the student is ready for me to view their page. So on the student side, you can see that it tells them that they raised their hand for a check and it was done just a few seconds ago. Now, if they decide they do not want that hand raised anymore, they can just click it again and it makes it go away. Okay. Same thing with the please help hand. Sometimes a student is confused about what to do, needs a little extra assistance. They can also raise this please help hand. And again, on the teacher's side, it will show that they've raised that hand, and I'll show you how that looks in just a moment. The other feature is the chat with teacher. So students can chat with the teacher, and I actually have quite a few learning coaches that will discuss questions and things of that nature in this message here. So they can click on that chat, they can type their answer. For example, I need help with question 2. Okay, they can enter it. And then on the teacher side, it will let me know that a student has put something on that chat. So let's go ahead and have the chat as well as click on that please check hand and take a look at what the teacher side looks like. So this is a teacher view of all the slides within this particular workbook. So I can see here that this green hand is raised. This immediately notifies me that this student is ready for me to check their work. And this will stay up whether they're currently active on the page or they have already closed out their Classkick. Now, as you can see, this is highlighted in black, and this just means that the student is currently on that page. So if I click on this page, I can see that this hand is checked. I can click on that hand and put the hand down, but also anytime I make any type of note on this page, it automatically will make that hand go away. Now, one of the things again that I ask of my students is if they've completed all their work, they raise that hand. Again, it notifies me they're finished and they're ready for me to grade it. Sometimes I will need to leave feedback based on an error or something they need to revise or look back on. And I can do that using the text tool. Sometimes I'll use those highlighters in different colors. And then I also use my stickers. I use stickers quite a bit, but I'll be going more over that in just a moment. Okay, now let's talk about that chat feature. So we know that we said, I need help with question number 2, right? Just put another random chat in there and go over back to the teacher's side. So now if they've just left the chat message, we can see that this speech bubble shows up. This notifies me that the student or even maybe the learning coach has put some type of question or comment in that box. So again, if I click on that, I can see that this hand here now has that green dot. I can click on that and I can see and respond to the student. And on the student side, we can see that it shows just a few seconds ago that I responded to their chat. So sometimes we'll use this chat box feature, especially if they're longer messages. And then other times I'll just put a note on here that says, check this question and I might lead some more thorough feedback on exactly what they need to check. Now, one of the ways this feature has really helped me as a teacher with my grading and keeping up with what work my students have completed, what they may have reviewed or revised, and things like that, is this please check hand will also notify me in different ways that these students need me to check their work. So let's take a look at what I mean. So as you know that I can go to that particular assignment and I can see all the raised hands on that, but there's another way that I can quickly check just to try to keep up with the students completing, especially if they have time over multiple days to complete work. It sometimes can be pretty difficult to keep up with that work being done. So going over here to this rosters and Crow Teachers, if I click there, I can see that all the students who have raised their hands on these different classes. Now, these are my different classes that I have, my groups, and I can click on this. So let's take a look at this homeroom page that I have. It shows me that one student has raised their hand. If I click on it, it will actually tell me what assignment they have raised their hand on. If I click on that again, it'll take me directly to that class or that student that has raised their hands. And again, this is just a quick way that I can look at the beginning, middle, end of the day and just check back to make sure that I am keeping up with those students' grades. Now, one of the things that I communicate with my students in the virtual environment is that they can do their work. And when a teacher checks on a student's work and leaves any type of feedback, it notifies the student. However, on the teacher side, we do not know if a student has done work on a Classkick page unless they've raised that please check or please help hand. So sometimes we can miss work getting done, especially if we have multiple students to check over multiple days. One of the things that I mention to my students is that if they do not raise their hand, it's sort of like they've done their work, but they've left it in their desk. They have not actually turned it into the teacher. Okay. And again, that kind of circles back that responsibility back to the students of making sure that when they revise something or complete something that they need to notify the teacher. And this is, for me at least, an easier way other than checking email to check to make sure I'm keeping up with these students' grades. Now, one of the other features that I mentioned that I use quite frequently for feedback are those stickers. So I use stickers quite a bit and I frequently alter these stickers based on the needs that I have. Okay. So you can add new stickers by clicking on this add button, changing the image, and it gives you several images that you can choose from. But something else that can be fun is to import your own custom image. And sometimes I will do that and I'll use one of my Bitmojis, for example, such as this one. And I can assign points to it or I can just leave it the same. Okay. But these are all different ways that I can also give that quick feedback to a student. And again, let's say that I want to have a sticker and let's say this missing one. I like this pencil. Maybe they're missing something in particular, or I want them to check a particular question. I can say check number 2, save it, and that way I could make it a little bit quicker in terms of feedback. And it also is really fun for the students, and they really enjoy looking at the different stickers that I can come up with and give them. And also sometimes they will have holiday specific ones, and so that can be fun as well for the students. Now, one of the other features that Classkick provides teachers is the sharing of assignments or lessons. So if you click on your name on the Classkick, it'll open up another menu. And if we go to this templates and libraries, it will open up a section of Classkick that allows us to search for subject and grade specific lessons that other teachers have made available to us to use. So here we can click on either Union County, Tennessee Virtual, or Public Library. So I'm with Tennessee Virtual, so I will be clicking on that. Okay, I will be clicking on my subject, okay, math. And then since I teach grade 4, I'm going to click on 3 through 5th. So we can scroll through here, and all of these different lessons these particular teachers have made available. Okay, so let's take a look at a lesson that I made available. So sometimes I will create activities to close a unit or just to provide some fun or extra review to a current unit that we're doing. So one of the units that we did was area and perimeter. And so one of the activities that we did was build a robot. Okay. And I will show you how to make this available to other teachers in just a moment as well. So here I have searched for that keyword robot. You could also just search for keywords such as area and come up with a bunch of different activities that other teachers are doing in their classrooms. But let's take a look at this robot one. Okay, if you click on this plus sign, it'll let you add it to your assignment library. So if you click on the plus sign, okay, it will automatically add it, and then you can move it to whichever section you want within your Classkick. So just something interesting and fun to see what some of the other teachers have and maybe you could use in your own classroom. Now let's take a look at how we can make an assignment private or available to other teachers. Okay, so here is the assignment, that area and perimeter build a robot activity. And right here, I have already shown what subject as well as grade that it would correspond with. So this is going to help that search when other teachers are searching for it. But right here, if you click on this access, you can choose whether you want this assignment private, so only you and your students can access it, or if you would like to share it with your colleagues. And this right here, if you click on shared, this will allow other teachers to search and see what is available for them to use. Okay. Now, while we're here, one of the other fun features that I find helpful with my students are these little images here. Notice that a lot of my activities in my lessons, I add these little emojis or these little pictures. Now, I find for my students, especially when they have lots of things in their Classkick from different teachers, different assignments for each teacher, that when I'm asking a student to go to a particular assignment, it's easier for them to see that image and make that connection. So for this one, I said, let's go to that area and perimeter activity. It's the one with the picture of the robot. And they seem to be able to find it much quicker and get there much quicker. One of the other assignments we do is a daily bell ringer, and I use a gold bell in place of our current week's bell ringer. And they know that if I see that yellow bell, that's the assignment that I do right when I enter class. This is also extremely helpful for some of those students that don't read too well, to help them know exactly where they need to go for an assignment. So how we would add this emoji here is click on the name section, you would right click, and then it's going to open this menu here where you can choose emoji. And then it'll give you lots of different emojis to choose from. You can search for different things, but there are a ton of emojis here, and the students sometimes find these a lot of fun as well. So let's say I search for pizza. Then I have a little image of a pizza. I would click that, and it would be added to my lesson's name. So again, these are just a few of the features that I find extremely helpful in my classrooms when teaching, and I hope that you found something that you can add or make your life a little bit easier with working with Classkick.